Hi. We don't have that many actual emotions, about 6 or 7, things like fear, happiness, sadness, shame, and a few others. But emotions are pretty strong, and it's really hard to ignore emotions, even if it's not really helpful. Now, in the case of anxiety, what do you think the emotion is that is driving your anxiety? Well, it's not happiness, it's probably not shame, it's fear. Fear is the emotion that drives anxiety. Now, if you listen to fear and if you believe fear is legitimately telling you something that's important to you, then you're going to make decisions based on fear. If, however, you're able to just take a few steps back, and I usually say take 3 steps back, but take a couple of steps back from the emotion and recognize that the emotion is being generated probably just by habits of thought, or it's being generated by beliefs that you have about the world, etc., such as, I will be exposed, I'll get found out, I get singled out for ridicule, some kind of negative and unhelpful thought. If you can recognize that your emotion is being generated in a sense artificially, and therefore any response you make to that emotion is incorrect and unhelpful. So let me just put that a different way. You can create the emotion of fear sitting in your bath, drinking a glass of wine with candles all around you by putting some effort into your imagination. You can create imaginative scenarios that will make you feel fearful. A lot of times with anxiety, we do that and we don't know we're doing it. But if you respond to that fear then as if it's a legitimate emotion, as if it's kind of accurate, as if it tells you something about the world, you're going to make decisions based on fear. And when you make decisions based on fear, you reinforce the fear. Okay, so fear is a very powerful attention-getting emotion. You can't help but pay attention to fear. So what we have to do is we've got to take a few steps back and say, hang on a minute, I do feel fearful, but my fear isn't legitimate, right? It's not telling me anything, and therefore you have to do something against the fear. So you've got to do something to challenge the fear. Now, I would suggest to you, have a think about it, do the very smallest thing that you can do that would challenge your emotion of fear. So for instance, and this is obviously a silly example, but if you were frightened that you couldn't go out of the house, and I have actually met people over the years that were that fearful, frightened of simply going outside of the house, at the time my suggestion was put a chair outside the back door and sit in the chair. So have 20 minutes in the sunshine with a cup of tea, sitting outside of the house, if going outside of the house is the fear. And it's a simple thing, it's not a big thing, but it challenges the fear. And if you chip away at the fear retreats. And as the fear retreats, your world expands. So another example would be, for instance, not being able to go out because of being fearful of trying to find a bathroom, okay? So we go out for a small period of time and we know where the bathroom is, let's say, but we're out and we're exposed to the world. So we go, let's say, from here to a garage where we know there's a bathroom. It's a decision that is pushing the fear. Now, whilst we've got a bit of safety behavior in there, in the sense of knowing that there's a bathroom, we're pushing the fear a little bit and we're taking back our life. So you always have 2 choices. You can make decisions based on fear, which is always a mistake, unless of course there's a mad axe killer, in which case you definitely should make decisions based on fear, right? So we can make decisions based on fear because the fear is not validly telling us something, or we can make decisions based on our own best interests, on our kind of goals for the life that we have. So my suggestion would be do the smallest thing that you can find that pushes against the fear and expands your world. Thanks for taking the time to watch and listen.